Hey everybody, and welcome to the Linds Fat Rooster Farms Table Talk. I'm Sean Lind, this is my channel, and I'm here to show you my start and walkthrough of homesteading. And I'm gonna say homesteading because I'm not gonna have this full-grown farm. I'm not gonna have dairy cows. I'm not gonna have meat animals. I wish I could. I am not a vegetarian. I am a meat eater. But I don't meat my food before I eat it, with the exception of eggs. I see the eggs before they get used, but I don't meat an animal before I eat it, and I don't think I could. That's just not me. I swerve in the road. I don't want to hit the chipmunks and the squirrels. It's just me. And a lot of homesteads are so self-sufficient. I'm so jealous that they can do that. That's so great for them. But it's not going to work for me. So I have to think different ways of how can I do this. This is also completely new to me. My friends are still trying to figure this one out. My family is too. Everybody's like, from Chanel to chickens. Really, Sean? Like, how did this happen? So I'm just going to give you a quick background. I've been in the financial world like 30 years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I've been in there for 30 years. Last several years I've been working for a financial advisor. Thought I had job security. I didn't. I was a remote work from home employee, meaning I've worked from home for a while for this person. I didn't deal with anybody. I didn't see anybody. I did everything from my living room. That was my office. And because of that, my kids found themselves in a situation where they needed some daycare. I have 4 grandchildren. Yes, I really do have 4 grandchildren. Yes, I know I don't look like I have 4 grandchildren, but I do. So 2 of them needed some help. And I was in a position to help. So I was like, sure, perfect. I work from home. I mean, how much better can this get? I'll help with the kids. And I do. I have my kids and I worked. And then I made a mistake at work, questioning my boss on something. He was the only person I could question. It was just me and him. I saw a decline in him, in his memory and his ability to perform tasks that we've been doing for years or computer-related things. And I watched it. I watched it for almost a year to make sure I was seeing what I was seeing. And he's an older man, he's 73 or 74, I believe. So, I mean, it's not far-fetched to think that maybe he's getting a little tired, So I asked him really nicely one day about it, told him what I had noticed, and he flipped his shit. There's no other way to put that. He got real mad at me, decided to stop talking to me, stop answering emails, which was super interesting because I still worked for him remotely. So all of our conversations were like emails and texts and phone calls, and he just wouldn't answer. And when he would answer, they would be nasty and condescending. And he just created such a hostile environment. And I was so upset. Mostly upset because there was nobody else to go to. Like, I had nobody else to ask this to. It's just me and him. There is nobody else. He's HR, he's CEO, CFO, he's everything. It's just his company. And I didn't expect retaliation for asking in a professional manner, but that's what I got. And I got it in the form of a letter that was FedExed to my home, my office where I was working, telling me that for the safety of our employees, I needed to get the COVID-19 vaccine. And I had to produce a CDC certificate stating I had that by October 6th. Or he would take it as I no longer wanted to be part of this company anymore. It's exactly, I feel the same way. I'm kind of still like, huh? I work from home, completely remote, 100% remote. My living room down there is my office. It's a beautiful office. It's giant, but I work from home. I don't see anybody. I see my grandkids. Like, I don't go anywhere. Good and bad, but I don't go anywhere. So for him to produce this bullshit letter, and there's really no other way to put it, it's just absolute bullshit, showed that it was retaliation. And when I brought it up that it was retaliation, he had nothing nice to say, nothing to say, didn't own it, nothing. So needless to say, October 6th came and went, and now I don't have a job anymore. I'm also in a position that I kind of screwed myself because I watch my grandchildren full time. I agreed to it. I agreed to this so their parents can work and their parents can pay the bills and keep the roofs over their heads, just like my husband does for us here. Well, now I can't get a full-time job. I have grandchildren. So it's like, what am I gonna do? I don't like to have my hand out constantly. I don't want to ask my husband. He's successful in life. We have a nice life here and stuff, but I'm an independent woman. I've never had to go, please, sir, may I have more? No, it's really hard for me to do that. So it put me in a funk when all this happened. I was depressed for a long time, like a couple weeks. I couldn't figure out, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I could work nights, but I really don't want to work nights. Like, I don't want to not have a life at home. It's too important to me. So I came up with an idea. I got chickens. 6. But anybody who knows chicken math knows 6 chickens will very easily turn into 18 chickens. You won't even see it coming. Well, I became obsessed with these chickens. And not just in a, I like chicken kind of way. Like, I bought books on chickens. I started reading up about them. I joined chicken groups on Facebook. I started asking questions. I got several books. One of them, Keeping Healthy Chickens. I actually like this one because it has so many useful different categories. What you need for a first aid kit, how to tell them apart, what the pecking order you need to look at, herbs that they can have, just all kinds of things to keep in healthy, happy chickens. My girls are super happy. They eat better than most human beings eat. So this became the obsession because I'm getting amazing eggs from these girls. Now, this is only some of them because all the rest of them are already packaged up. But I get pretty big eggs. My girls lay every single day. I attribute it to their diet. They're supposed to be molting. I think they've lost like 4 feathers maybe. And I get enormous, delicious, amazing eggs, fresh. I sell my eggs, I use my eggs. It's win-win for me. Well, that obsession, because I feed them so well, became, geez, how am I gonna feed them so well without a job now and working, taking care of kids? How am I gonna do this? I'll grow a little garden for them. Again, I'm not one that's, I thought you just literally threw seeds in the ground and watered them and you got whatever plant you put in the ground, whether it's a food, a plant, whatever. That's not how it works. There's things such as zones, which have rules and laws for what you can plant and what you can't. And I bought another book, and it's called Growing Fruits and Vegetables. And it's an older book. I think I got it at Savers, secondhand store, $3. But it's super, super interesting, and it has every type of vegetable you can imagine in there. And I learned that you actually need to have a schedule. You need to know what you're doing. There's certain things that go in the ground at certain times. So I sat down with my grandson, and we made a list of, geez, what do we want to try to grow? And we put that list together, and I said, oh, we'll get the seeds. Well, now we have charts and graphs, and I have different calendars that tell me when the spring planting has to go in, and then when the fall planting goes in, and then there's things that are started in the house that have to be transplanted out, and other things that you don't start in the house, you just automatically transplant them out. This is all on a schedule, like almost an Excel spreadsheet, if you will, for real. There's a lot of work, but I'm gonna do this. I am gonna put myself into this and see what I can do. So now the obsession became, well, with the prices at the grocery store, how can I fix things for my family? How can I make things last? And with the uncertainty of the way the world is right now, Like, we could lose the ability to get meat any day. Toilet paper, that was fun for a while, although I did have enough, but a lot of people didn't. So I'm prepping, not a doomsday prepper, a be prepared prepper, and I want to be prepared for anything. And part of that is being able to take care of my family in tough times when maybe things aren't available. Because just, I don't know, I just feel like the Great Depression is on its way again. Not that I've seen the first one, but I think we're in for our own version of that, and I kind of want to be a little bit prepared. So I started saying, geez, what can I do with all this fruits and vegetables if this works? And I learned about crop sharing options and bushels. I didn't know there was anything called a bushel that you could buy. You can buy a bushel of potatoes, tomatoes, bananas. You can buy a bushel of anything you want. Peppers, corn. And you buy things that are in season, and you want to make them last when they're not in season. And how do you do that without totally taking up room in your freezer, which I don't. I have a lot of freezers in my house, and there's a lot of stuff in each of them. I'm kind of sick of trying to find things. And things do go bad, especially in the downstairs freezer. The smaller one, I forget because it's downstairs. And it's just ridiculous. It's a waste. It's a waste of money, a waste of resources, and I'm done doing it. So I want to learn how to save it, how to take something that's ripe and juicy and amazing in the spring that you only get in the springtime, and I want to be able to have it in December or January or November or whenever. How can I do that? Well, again, I started thinking to, what did my grandmother do? I say grandmother, but she's my great-grandmother. I call them the Puppas. And I was fortunate enough to actually have my great-grandparents around when I was younger. Because my parents were very young when they had me. So I was fortunate. She canned. She did. I remember Piccadilly in the stairways to the basement. I remember the Piccadilly. I didn't eat the Piccadilly, but I remember it. And it was in the glass ball jars, the canning jars, with the lever. And I just thought they were great. And she made it. And that was what my grandma did. So I thought about that for a minute and thought, geez, I wish she was here to teach me. Well, there's Facebook groups for that too. And I found some really, really super good ones. I'm in 4 or 5 of them, and I've been in them for a while. And I asked questions. And again, I bought books, lots of books. This is just one of them, and this is Ball's book. Ball, I think, has 3 or 4 books out. I own them all. They're somewhere in here. And they're very informative. Not only does it tell you how to do the recipe, but there's tidbits throughout it of what to look for, how to do it, what things mean, what you need to have. There's a dictionary. There's a lot to this. And I became infatuated. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try it simple. And I bought a water bath canner. It's like $25. It's a big enamel pot. You don't even really need to buy one if you have a big enough stock pot. Just stick one of those cake coolers on the bottom because it has to have a rack in there. You can't put the jar right on the bottom. Stick some. You can put a towel in there though. You absolutely can do that. Fold up a dish towel, put it on the bottom, and set your jars like that. But I did a water bath, and to do water bath, you're limited to what you can do and what you can make. But the very first thing I made was candy apple jelly, and I made it with my granddaughter Rosalie. And I have a jar open in my fridge because you have to try it. I need to know what this stuff tastes like. This is so good. You could literally put some in a cup in the microwave, liquefy it up, put it on a pancake. You could have it on a biscuit, on a scone, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Rosie had some the other day in a sandwich. She thought it was just the bomb. It's delicious. And they also make super cute gifts. This will last on the shelf for years. So then the next thing I tried is this fad going on with caramel. And you make caramel out of sweetened condensed milk in a water bath on my stove. And I have caramel. And it is delicious. And it is amazing. It's just so good. And again, cute little jars. These would make great presents for Christmas. See where I'm going with some of this stuff? And it will also shelf stable for a very long time. I honestly, I don't know what it is for the caramel, but I hear it's months, if you can keep it there for months. And then the other day, I just did bruschetta, because we love bruschetta. It's actually a pain to make it up and get it ready, dice it up, try to cook dinner, do this, do that. I got kids running around. I have 7 jars already made. Now all I have to do, if I want bruschetta, is go grab a jar off the counter. Well, they're not going to be on the counter for long. I need a shelf downstairs in the basement, but I haven't. People stop by unexpectedly, have a couple of drinks. Ooh, I have bruschetta and some crusty bread, and hey, we have a little hors d'oeuvre. So this has now become an obsession, but it's one that I want to take to the next level, because I have a half a cow in my freezer downstairs. And when I bought this half a cow, I did not realize that there is a difference in taste and smell when you cook and eat it. It's delicious. I am not saying it's bad by any stretch. You just have to get used to it. I am not used to it yet. So I have a lot that I have to use up, though. I can't just leave it in there because we have venison coming. We have some birds that are coming. Like, I need my freezer space and I need to rotate it, and I don't want it to sit there for years. So I'm gonna pull out like 12 pounds of hamburg, and I'm gonna do like a chili, a sloppy joe, a spaghetti sauce. Like, it's gonna be some batches of a few different things, and it's going to get used. And I think that I will enjoy it so much more that way. It'll change the flavor even more. I think I'll like it. So that's what I'm gonna do with it, and I have so much to use anyways. But you can't do that in a water bath, not according to the USDA. I know Grandma did it in the water bath, but you can't do that. It's not safe. Botulism is real. You don't want to play with that. It says you have to have a pressure canner. So today I went out and I got myself a Presto pressure canner. There's many different models. The All-American, I've read, is an amazing one that you'll have for generations and can pass it down, but it's also several $100s. When I started getting into this and learning and soaking everything up, and I watch YouTube channels all day long now. When I'm not busy with the kids, I have it going in the background like a radio. I do Rose Red Homestead with Pam Cantrell, and I also do the Homestead Family with Josh and Carolyn. And I've learned so much. I highly recommend them. They're the ones to look at if you're starting out like I am. That's where to go. This is what Pam uses. And she swears by it, and she has no stake in anything. She will try all the products. She will test each one to see which one is the best, and she will give you her honest opinion. And she loves her little Presto. So I got a Presto today, and it's still costs, about $140, $150, all said and done. But I'm so excited to use it. I cannot wait to open this box and start reading and get it going. Start my canning. I have some serious jars. I've got everything you could possibly need. I've got my recipes, and I can't wait to get going. I'm so excited. So I need my husband to build me a windshield. Not a windshield for my vehicle, but a shield to go around my outdoor burner, because I am not pressure canning in my house. For one, my stove, the vent is too low. I mean, I can hit my head on that cooking. It's awful. I'm doing a kitchen remodel next year. I cannot wait. That stinks. Bad design. So I can't put this there because it will literally vent directly straight up into the fan, into the light. There's only a couple of inches that will have a difference there. And the amount of steam that this thing will exert at times is just gonna damage my vent and ruin it. So I'm not gonna do it there. Plus, if I ever did anything wrong and this thing decided to blow, it's gonna take that whole section with it. And I'd rather not right now. I'm not ready for the remodel. So I'm gonna do it outside. I do have amazing outside space to do it on. And my husband's gonna build a little windshield for me to go over the burner so I can set the pot on it, because when you pressure cook, you need to keep it steady. You can't have the wind knocking out the flame. The flame needs to keep going. The pot needs to do what it needs to do for the amount of time that they say it has to be done. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything right, and that's part of it. I haven't started my garden yet. I'm in the planning stages of that. It's on paper. My chicken coop is a work in progress. I live on 5 acres, but I can't use hardly any of it. My husband has it all. We own our own business. He does auto body, and we also own commercial space. We rent to a towing company. I do have a barn. It's a 1-stall barn. It used to have a horse in it many, many years ago. Now it's kind of got some junk in it, sitting there empty. So something will happen with that barn eventually. Not right now. I want to work on my gardens, which I have to have container gardens. And here's why. My husband has Kentucky bluegrass. Our backyard is marvelous. It's gorgeous. It really is. You can take your feet off and walk through it. And if you're walking barefoot on my lawn in the backyard, you will be like, oh my God, like, what is this real? Like, it's soft. It's nice grass. He puts a lot of time and effort into it, a lot of money into it. It's a gorgeous backyard. We also have an irrigation system in there, so we don't have to worry about watering it. He's not letting me dig any of that up for a garden. Anything that I do has to be elevated or containers. We also have a big pool in our backyard in the fenced-in area. We also, on one side of the pool, though, have a concrete pad that nobody uses for anything. And I'm designing my garden to go on there, to plant everything that I want to plant in 2 crop rotations, spring and fall, to have an ever-going chain. I'm not going to have enough to sustain us. This is my first year. I'm going to see what I can get out of it. I don't even have a goal other than I need to see what I can do. I'm going to plant enough that hopefully I'll be able to put some stuff up, period. That's all I want to do, put some stuff up. And there is a space, it's kind of out back near the wood line, that I'm starting to carve myself into, and I'm taking away from everybody out there. I have a compost pile that I've started over there, and I'm going to start a greenhouse. And this greenhouse is going to be a working, planted greenhouse. So it's going to have the food also growing over there eventually. It's not just going to be a place where I could set stuff and then bring it out. Like, no, I'm going to plant in this. It's going to be a tunnel house, and there'll be plantings inside of it. But I have to carve out myself little by little over these guys and take my little piece of it. So this is my homesteading journey. I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I kind of don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. I have a plan. We'll see how it plays out. And I hope you all come along for the ride, because I'm sure there's other people just like me that want to do it, don't know where to start, don't have a whole lot of resources, but have some resources as far as being able to do things in certain places, get certain animals, see what we can do. And also, like I said, I don't want to slaughter my own animals. That's not me. My homestead's not going to be like that. When my chickens stop laying, they're still going to get fed really good, and we're still going to just have a grand old time. They might free range a little bit more freely, but no, I'm not intentionally going to eat my birds. So come along on this journey with me, and let's see how we can make it happen.